Earlier today, the UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territory said in a 72-page report, Israel's government is responsible for 4 of the 5 acts prohibited under the 1948 Genocide Convention. The report holds 3 Israeli leaders responsible: Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and President Isaac Herzog.
Look at that, man. As another building is taken down, likely there in Gaza City. Another body, this one a UN, subcommittee, special body, has declared it a genocide. This thing's moving forward as far as world recognition, but whatever is happening from the other side, from the Israeli side, or American side for that matter, their public relations policy has shifted to a point where they have to acknowledge this stuff to the world, but they give a nod and they keep going.
Back then to Robert at ITV.
Robert Person, ITV. Mr. President, you alone in the whole world, have the power to persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the demolition of Gaza City, to stop the starvation of Palestine, and to stop the killing of civilians. If not now, when will you exercise that power to tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you all...
But you do understand about October 7th.
Of course,
you do understand.
So believe me, I understand.
One of the worst days in the history of humanity. What happened, I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old, just chopped up to pieces. And you've seen the tapes, and I've seen the tapes. You're a professional, and so am I. And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it. So I want it to end, but I want the hostages back. I don't want the hostages used as human shields, which is what Hamas is threatening to do.
But as soon as they're back, that's the moment you will tell Netanyahu
well,
to stop.
It would certainly help, but I have to have the hostages back. And I don't want them back piecemeal, as I said before. I want them back.
It's redirection, misdirection. They acknowledge it when they have to, but they keep going. So I hope that we're close to getting this. I hope that we're close to this being over, and I hope that we're close to this ending somehow.
Nevi Pillay, who heads the commission, drew parallels between Israel's assault on Gaza and the Rwandan genocide of 1994.
Genocide is occurring in Gaza. In the Rwandan genocide, the group were the Tutsis, and here the group are the Palestinians.
The findings could be used by prosecutors at the International Criminal Court for the UN's International Court of Justice. Meanwhile, Israel's military says it's launched a major ground offensive to seize Gaza City and displace its 1 million residents. Gaza health officials report at least 68 people have been killed by Israeli airstrikes since dawn today, most of them in Gaza City. This is Fatima, an elderly resident of a tent camp close to the Al-Ghafari building in western Gaza City, which Israel bombed into rubble Monday.
You know, I said it week and a half, 2 weeks ago in one of the articles I wrote on my Substack that deaths by the hundreds are becoming, like a byline in the news. That's where this has gotten to. And that's literally, we're there now. People are dying by the hundreds every day from Israeli aggression. And now you have starvation mounting, famine has set in, and I don't even know the amount of people that are dying of starvation and thirst every day. This is happening day after day, whether we're distracted or not. Thank God, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, and it sure seems that the truth that he had come around to right at the end of his life is now going to be amplified and magnified instead of censored and shut down. He had enough of his honest sentiment caught on film and on camera that's a done deal, and everyone seems to be on to it by now. So they certainly haven't done anything to their benefit by killing him. But still, that doesn't change the fact that this is happening. I think we need to channel our collective energy towards the next step, and that is getting this influence that killed him out of our government. It's the same people that are doing this here. So if we can stop supporting Israel, get their money out of our government, these are the major steps to correcting things right now.
I cannot stand on my legs out of fear. Enough hunger, thirst, and fear. When they did this, I collapsed completely. I cannot walk.
The Palestinian Civil Defense report.
God bless that old woman, man. Bless that old woman, and prayers for everybody suffering over there. All this seems so cruel, God. So cruel. I can't help but put myself in their shoes. I can't help but.
Reports Israel's blown up over 50 Gaza high-rises in recent weeks. In Geneva, Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the occupied Palestinian territory, said Monday Israel's military is destroying entire neighborhoods and the remnants of buildings where people were seeking shelter.
It's trying to forcibly evacuate.
Okay, this is a big statement here. She sums up the argument quite clearly. I've been saying for months, and a lot of people have been saying for a long time, that this is a campaign of genocide to carry out an ethnic cleansing of this piece of land. It's become quite clear now, and she gets right down to the point and captures it well.
It's trying to forcibly evacuate the 800,000 Palestinians who were seeking refuge there. But the question is, why? Why? Because this is the last piece of Gaza that needs to be rendered unlivable before advancing the ethnic cleansing of that piece of land. And then probably they will move to the West Bank.
There we go. How many mouths does the average American citizen who supports Trump blindly and supports his support of Israel blindly, how many talking heads and people in positions of authority and power do you guys need to hear before you believe it yourself? Sitting on your hands through this is co-signing genocide, and that's murder. That's the terrorizing of an entire population just because they are who they are and they live on the land that they live on.
Gaza is burning. Lebanon's health ministry says an Israeli airstrike on a residential building injured 12 civilians in the Nabatea region of southern Lebanon Monday. 4 children, 7 women were among the wounded. Israel's repeatedly attacked Lebanon despite a ceasefire deal signed in November.
This is the context that everything's happening in. Let's just remind ourselves here. The state of Israel that's committing this genocide and that we support so blindly is also attacking all of its neighbors. Israel has attacked 7 sovereign neighbors in the region. We have, of course, Syria. We have Iran. We have Lebanon. Now Qatar. Palestine. I don't know if that's counted in there when they count the numbers, the 7. I would say, what has it struck? Iraq, sovereign territory of Iraq. I'm sure it has. So right there, we're at 6. I don't know what the 7th one is, but I've read that statistic. I'm sure it's there. The point is that they're not paying any attention at all to international law. Oh, Yemen. They assassinated the Yemeni government, of course. So there's your 7. So Israel is waging war in the region on a broad scale, and we're just sitting here and supporting them. That's the context that all this genocide is happening within. Israel just attempted to assassinate the Palestinian negotiating team that was in Doha, Qatar. This is now a matter of habit for the American and Israeli side. We've set up peace negotiations before only to have them be assassinated. We're projecting to the world that we're unable to negotiate in good faith. We're setting precedents around peace talks, around diplomacy, around warfare that are brand new in world history. And we're on the wrong side of all those things.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Doha today for talks with Qatar's Emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, in the wake of Israel's deadly strike last week targeting Hamas leaders in Doha. Rubio's trip comes after leaders in the Gulf Cooperation Council said Monday they'd agreed to activate a mutual defense pact in response to Israeli aggression. Meanwhile, Axios report.
So you see this is a wonderful microcosm of what's happened on the international community. Our behavior, our foreign relations, our war policy, our economic policy has forced other nations to gather together on the side. The entire world has formed into a group of bodies that are mainly existing within the BRICS infrastructure, but they're all these cooperation organizations and the ASEAN PAC group, and every single one of them has to do with interacting and handling diplomacy without us because we have proven to be a bad actor. Do you understand, America? You know, Qatar is contracted to host the major U.S. air base in the region. So like our major air defense systems, radar, tracking, all that stuff comes out of that base. Major refueling flights come out of that base. Our only deal for Qatar by having that there is that we were supposed to be protecting them. And what do? We allowed Israel to come and strike on their sovereign territory in their capital city against a peace negotiating team that was negotiating with the Qataris as mediators in good faith. Whereas on our half, it looks like it was not in good faith at all. I didn't even get to this literally 100-word letter sent by Donald Trump, which was the cause of these Palestinian Hamas officials gathering in Doha. Like one person described it read as if it was written by Israel and drawn up on like the back of a napkin in a diner or a bar. It was just completely haphazard, and it sure looks that the only point of this thing was to get the Hamas officials, Palestinian officials, to come to Doha. Sorry, I gotta get my dog's toy. I just threw it there, bud. It's right there. Go get it. It's right here, bud. Get it. Right? You have to understand, Palestinian officials or Hamas had just a few weeks ago, they were in peace negotiations, right? And the Hamas officials, we'll call them that for now, they've grown weary, coming to understand that they're negotiating with a side that is not doing it in good faith, right? So over time, it's become more and more apparent to them that the Israelis and the Americans are just spinning their wheels with these peace talks. They don't really mean to strike. They're not looking for peace. They just want to run this thing on the sidelines so they have some headlines to show in the media, and they just want to continue with the killing. This is an all-out kill as many people as you can, ethnically cleanse that strip as best you can until the midterm elections in the United States, right? Or until something happens politically within Israel or the United States to change the support for the process. So what Hamas had done, were negotiating with the American and Israeli side, and they said, screw it. They literally agreed to every single demand that the Israelis had. This was like a few weeks back. And Israel was like, okay. And then they made some more crazier demands, and then they didn't come to peace. So they could have had peace. And this has happened like kind of multiple times, not exactly like this, but basically. It's proven that Israel doesn't want peace. So the people on the Palestinian side said, see, we gave you everything you want, and you don't want to make peace, you just want to put more demands on us. They walked away from the negotiations. Then they get this haphazard letter from Trump demanding they gather in Doha and saying that he wants to end this and da-da-da-da-da. And then you have this assassination strike attempt. Of course, Israel comes out immediately saying they killed the Hamas negotiators, and they did not. All they did was probably damage, put the final nail in America's credibility as far as geopolitically internationally. The final nail in America's coffin. Yeah, not good. I think we got enough here. Just a little update on this situation. We got to make sure this situation with Kirk ain't twisted against us, and we got to put our energy towards stopping this thing in Palestine. And that process can very easily be rolled over into a new reality where we can remove this Jewish influence from our government and get corporate money out of our government and really take our government back on a grassroots level like we all thought we've been doing this whole time with Trump, right? God bless everybody out there. I hope y'all have a good day. I've been struggling with some things lately personally, but, sun always comes up, man. Hope to see you soon. Take it easy. Peace. Rest in peace, Charlie. I urge all Americans to, remain focused, to continue to digest all of this new information. A lot of people are getting their eyes open to new information right now. A lot of people are coming to grips with, new realities, essentially. It's a difficult process. The best thing that we can do to put our energy towards is to make sure that Charlie's death is not twisted into something to be used against us for the purpose of division or for the purpose of staying under Israel's control. That's why Ben Shapiro taking his post over is beyond laughable.